91.1 KYAY. Good evening. The Boss Man here with you on your Friday night for Overdrive. And this evening I have a really, really special. Actually, I got 4 special guests in here with me tonight. So I want to say what's up to San Carlos's very own Alliance. All right, guys. So we've got Scotty, who's the vocals.
Yep.
What's up, Scotty?
Vocals. What's going on, everybody?
And then we also got Isaiah.
Oh, hello, everybody.
The Axeman. Axeman number 1.
Guitars.
Yeah. We got Axeman number 2. It's
Aaron.
Aaron. What's up, Aaron? And then who do we got over here?
You got the man that does the beats every day, Larry Palmer.
All right, what's up?
AKA Big Larry. There you
go. All right. Awesome, guys. So,
yo, it's Big Larry.
All right, so what's going on, man? It's been a while. I want to say
2006, no,
18, I think.
I think 18 was the last.
I think it was 18 when we when we did the last interview, and I believe that we didn't even have anything official back then.
Yeah, back then we had demo tracks. That
one track.
Yeah.
I think it was one demo track, and you guys were talking about, we might go into the studio back then.
Well, it was a continuous trial and error. That's what tended to happen.
So tell me, what's been going on since then, since 2018?
Where do we start? I guess where we start from is we introduced Laryl into the band. I think that same year, huh? No, the year after, huh? Yeah, so then 2019, that's when we finally got Laryl. And then after Laryl, we brought in Aaron. But what it just came down to was communication. But once we officially got our lineup all situated, after that we were just always on the road, especially after the pandemic. That's when we started booking more and more shows, and then all of a sudden we ended up on Palladio for 98 KPD and ended up taking that.
So let's let the listeners know out there, what's Palladio?
So what Palladio is 98 KPD every single year on Holmberg's Morning Sickness. They host a Battle of the Bands competition. The first round of it is basically the radio host, they listen to your song on live radio and as well as their listeners. And then if you proceed forward after that and get into the finals, then you play Battle of the Bands and then you go head to head. In this case, we went up against Then It Hit Me, Terror Blood, Arsenic Kitchen, and Johnny Lovato. Yeah, that guy he was cool, man, because he was just going off of audio track and that.
Oh man, that guy took a beating on air. I mean, they got so much jokes about his material that
he's just doing karaoke.
Yeah. So I was listening to when I heard that you guys were going to be on there. I saw you guys' post on social media. I'm like, what? What is this? So I finally tuned in and I heard, all the artists that you guys were up against.
Then It Hit Me and Arsenic Kitchen. We've been grinding out with them for like the past few years in the local scene. So we're good friends with them. And at the end of the day, like, we didn't really expect to win. It was Isaiah's idea. Isaiah was like, hey, Perseverance is going to be entering in for this. Should we try it? And we're just like, let's throw him a bone and let's see what happens. And to be honest, like for me, myself, I was pretty scared because like as I was listening to that morning show throughout that morning, he was tearing everybody to shreds, man. Like even some that had really good songwriting, good production, he was like, nope, don't like it. Nope, not them. Yeah. Nope, Cookie Monster. Nope. And that's where we were kind of at the end of day one, and we were the very last band that got played on the air, and we almost lost. Actually, two of the judges, they had said no to us. They're like, no, pass. But John was the one that was like, hey, hold on, let's give it a moment. And it got into the chorus.
Yeah.
And then once it got into the chorus, they just let it play. And then
Yeah.
they went into second verse and then second chorus. And then after that, they're just like, yeah, these guys. And then we won. Or, well, at least on day one. Yeah.
I remember hearing him saying, "Yeah, it took me a while to get to that chorus, but once they got there, I was like, whoa!"
Yeah. They're like,
It just totally like hooked me. You know?
they're just like, it took them forever to get there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Only took you guys like 5 minutes to get to the chorus.
Actually, the original version, it took longer to get to.
Yeah,
the
honestly,
original version.
we gotta
Longer.
we gotta thank our friend Darren from the band The Ephemeral. Yeah, he was actually, he did sound for us, and this was pre-pandemic, but he did sound for us for 2 shows at Club Red and as well as at, what is it, Palo Verde Lounge?
Yeah. Palo Verde.
Yeah, he did sound for us then, and then back then he was like, hey, let's record something. And it wouldn't be until like toward the end of the pandemic where he was like, hey, let's get into the studio. And then that's kind of how Misery came about.
Yeah.
And thanks to him, though, he was the one that really like guided us and shaped up the song itself, because we are still like learning a lot about being songwriters. And you know, we know that we write long songs. We definitely know we write long songs. We're getting better at that, though. So
All right, so speaking of Misery, let's go ahead and get into that track right now. We'll play it, and then when we get back, we'll talk more about Misery. So here you go.
awesome.
Here is Misery from San Carlos' very own Alliance right here, 91.1 KYAY. You're listening to Overdrive.
Are you to me?
.1 KYAY. You're listening to Overdrive right there. Alliance with Misery, the name of that track. So I actually have Alliance with me this evening, and thanks for stopping by. And we were talking about how you guys were judged in a I guess it's called Palladio contest for a morning show down in Phoenix. And I remember Phoenix is like probably, I want to say they are like market number 20 maybe. No, I think they're in the top 10 markets of radio stations in America. So your guys' song got played to a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
A lot of people. And to this day, I listen to John to this day. I listen every morning, and he always plays that morning song that you guys recorded. It comes in. I noticed he edited it a little.
Yeah.
They edited it a little bit, you know. But which is, I mean, to me, I mean, it still sounds good. You can't even tell. And he always says, "All right, thank you, Alliance from San Carlos." All right, you know. Then he gets into a segment. So I always think that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just tell me, how does it feel to know that your guys' song is getting played on you know, all over the valley, basically?
I guess starting with me, I'll be honest, I forget sometimes that we're on the radio. I think it's because ever since everything that happened with Palladio, everything's been moving so fast, from going to studios, getting on the road, doing our music videos, our video in this case, and it's a blessing, really, and I hear about it a lot, especially from our fans that are out in the valley. But besides that, though, I just feel like it's something different, and I know that we set the bar, that's for sure, but I just hope that it inspires other people to, like, you know, keep pushing their boundaries and getting out of their comfort zone. But Isaiah?
Just like what Scotty said, you know, I do forget that we made a song for them. But it's, you know, to think about it now, it's like, whoa, a bunch of native peeps from St. Carlos actually, you know, made a song for something so big like that, and actually got probably St. Carlos more recognized, you know, from everybody, natives in general. You know, it's still like, I'm still trying to process that because, like we said in the beginning, we didn't plan to win. We just did it for the fun of it. We didn't plan to win, and then we ended up placing the top 5, second place, and we're like, oh, we got there. And I remember we had a group meeting, and we're like, you know, if we don't win this, you know, just at least put St. Carlos and show our native people that, you know, we're here and everything.
Yeah.
Let's have a good time, like we always did, everything. And then we played, and we won and made a song for them. We're like, wow. You know, with no intentions to try to win. We just wanted to, you know, do it and have fun, and just like what Scotty says, hopefully this win that we did, it inspires more people, younger generation too, you know, the younger natives. Yeah, how about you still?
Well, I guess that makes majority of us, is that I sometimes forget it too. But all in all, like, I think I'm still speechless on the whole Palladio thing, because, like, I don't know, like Isaiah and Scotty said, we weren't really, like, we didn't plan on winning or anything like that. We just did, like, hey, let's just do this. It's just like I don't know, if they boo us off, they boo us off.
Yeah.
Not gonna hurt us. We're gonna cry on the way home, you know.
Put on Mariah Carey, fantasy.
I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna listen to Backstreet Boys, you know. But in a way, for me, it's kind of like a dream, because it's like I got to be a part of something that is now played on the radio. And I was always, like, as a kid, like, hearing bands that I liked and they were on the radio. Some radio edit stuff, but I'm like, oh wow, that's so cool.
I was surprised they kept the growls and everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Big layer.
All
Coming
right.
at you now. But like, same thing, like how everyone said, we always forget that we made a song with them. But to me, I was really surprised how we won the radio, and I never knew that I was gonna actually be a part of it, because all this time when I'm with this band, making new music and inspiring younger generation out there, it's really a warm to my heart, because we always get interaction with new fans, new people out in the valley. They always talk to us, we always talk to them, and they're like, when's our next show? Then we announce it to them. Then they even drive all the way out, like from other places to.
Yeah.
They always drive from other states just to see us. Even we had our one female
Yeah.
fan
Mexico.
came from New Mexico, drove all the way out there, came to see us, and
Palladio.
Wow. I really wish that I was there to catch the Palladio show. I was I was at a church event that night, and I couldn't get away. So I was like, oh, but I think it was one of the fans that had went live on Instagram, and I watched it. And I thought it was really cool, and yeah, I mean, I guess I can say this. I'm very proud of you guys, man. I mean, when I saw that you guys were entering into this whole contest, I was like, wow, let's see where this goes, and a part of me was like, yeah, like I don't think they're gonna win. And now that's not to knock down.
No, exactly.
That's not to knock down on your sound or songwriting, but I was more like, they're playing this to like people that listen to Five Finger Death Punch and Breaking Benjamin, Godsmack sound. I was like, that would be something if they would win this. Like I was thinking, then another side of me was like, man, that would be cool if they won. And then when it came down to it, and they did the voting, and I remember I was listening. They're listening to the voting, and they said they went with you guys, and I was like, oh, what? I was like, oh man, this is whoa! I almost felt like I was in the band too. We did it, guys! Yeah, I felt like the manager or the producer guy, and I had nothing to do with it. I was really excited for you guys. I thought that was really cool.
I hope everyone felt like that, St. Carlos, because
Yeah.
Actually, real quick, side story about this though. So we knew that we were advancing to possibly the top 5. That second day of the hosts listening to all the tracks, I started looking into the clause and the contract itself of being a part of Palladio, and okay, if we do get into the final act, when do we play? We did not know that we were going to play that very day, that Tuesday, of all days of a Tuesday.
Yeah.
But see, the craziest part about this though is that, okay, so it's kind of hard for us to do shows because we always got to schedule things out. We all got jobs, we got responsibilities.
Yeah.
I called up each and every one of these guys, okay, can you make the show? Literal, yeah. Isaiah, yeah. Aaron, I wasn't sure because I didn't know if he had work. And then Aaron was like, you know what? Today's actually my day off. So yeah, let's do it. But then the main person I really needed was Ashley. Because Ashley lives all the way in Parker. So it's hard for her to make it to gigs, especially right on the whim. So I called her up. I was like, Ash, we're probably going to finals. Can you make this gig? And then she was like, you know what? I'm actually going to the Valley today. Yeah.
This all fell into place.
Yeah, that was the scariest. I was like, ooh, But yo, that was the thing. I guess it started to really start to feel man, yeah, we got this. And even though we got there in Arsenic, our boys in Arsenic Kitchen, man, they really set the bar. Our boy Lucas, the vocalist, he's a phenomenal vocalist. And the thing about that though is just I was like, man, I bet those guys are gonna take it. I was like, I bet they're gonna take it because they were getting all the praise and everybody was loving them. But just what Isaiah said too, it's I just kind of huddled everybody together, and what it really came down to was, I was like, no matter if we win or lose, we're here for our families, and we're here. Let's make them proud, but as well, especially to all the people that never got to see today, because we lost a lot of people upcoming to this moment, and we're just like, let's just make them proud. And yeah, we gave it our all, and that's why I guess you could say we had so much passion on stage, is because we're playing for not just ourselves, but we're playing for everybody.
Yeah. So did it feel going on that stage? I mean, because this, if I'm not correct, this particular show had to have had to be more significant than your previous shows, or even any shows after that show. Would you say that, or?
I'll be honest.
Or was it just another gig?
No. It wasn't just another gig, but I felt like a dancing monkey. And the reason why I say that is because when it came to us taking the stage sits above a bar. So like, picture us like right here. This is the bar. Yeah, and they're working, and then right above them is the stage, and then everybody's just in tables. Like, nobody's standing. Everybody's just in tables. So it's just like, oh man, how do you win the crowd without like people actually moshing? Yeah. So we're just like, okay, well, this is different, but
not only that, like the stage was just super narrow for us to get up and get all our gear up and off from it too.
I know that was a struggle, like in regards to getting all of our gear, because since it's so narrow and everybody's like, hurry up, like let's get these guys off, let's get these guys on. And like, we're trying to congratulate everybody, like, hey, you did a good set, man. Hell yeah.
Yeah, wow. That's, I mean, I saw, like I said, I watched the video footage, and I was wondering that. I was like, is that a bar below them, And so it seemed like everything was all like, was up against you guys, I mean, you had to win over a crowd that wasn't moshing. It's not your typical San Carlos crowd or metal crowd, like say if you're at the Nile or something like that, so it's a completely different environment, and it's being put on by a huge radio station.
Yeah.
So there was a lot to go up against, but hey, man, you guys got through it, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was crazy when actually John and them came up to us.
Oh yeah, after like
John and Brady.
Yeah, they all came up to us.
Toledo.
Well, I'll be honest, I didn't know like who they were. I was, because everybody was just like, I think we were the only band that actually brought our merch. So we're like we're making sales like left and right. Yeah. And everybody's like, man, you guys did great. And I was just shaking hands like, hi, bye. And then come to find out, I guess I met John along the way. Yeah. He's like, congratulations, like you guys did a good job. And I was like, oh, all right, cool, thanks.
Wow. Well, since we're talking about this track, I don't think we've ever played it here, only because this isn't the morning show, but we'll go ahead and we'll play that track. What's it called again? The Apache Morning Sickness?
Yeah.
That's what it's called, Apache Morning Sickness, right? And it's only like, what, like a 2 minute?
Yeah.
Like a minute and a half?
We try to make it as radio as possible.
Yeah, shortened to the point.
They need it more shorter, right, I guess.
So let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and get into that track right now. This is Apache Morning Sickness with Alliance right here. 91.1 KYAY, you're listening to Overdrive.
It ain't ready. Isaiah's got something special for you. Oh yeah.
91.1 KYAY. You're listening to Overdrive Alliance right there with Apache Morning Sickness. That was a really quick track. So, recording this track, so winning, you guys win the Palladio. What was a part of the deal when you guys won? What was the prize?
So, number one, as they stated, bragging rights. They're like, you get bragging rights for the rest of the year.
Yeah, for 1 year.
But after that, we got to go to Mind's Eye Studio to record with, what was it? Yeah, Larry. He worked with Corey Taylor and as well as a few other like new metal artists up early 2000s, late 90s. But we got to record with him, and we could either record the radio song or we could record our single. But we decided that we might as well do the radio song because it's going to be playing every single morning for the rest of the year. So we made that happen, and then as well too, we won $2,000.
So you guys had option to record a new single, or record the radio, the radio show song.
Yeah.
Well, you guys made a good choice.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it was more like, well, this is just a plus. Yeah. And the thing about all of this too was like, we had already had the idea that we're gonna go into the studio in 23, but this was just like icing on the cake. Just like, oh, hey, we get it paid for. Hey, we get another song that gets to play on the radio for the rest of the year. So let's go ahead and make that happen.
Wow. So what was the experience like working on that, on writing the morning sickness show? I mean, like, where did you guys start from? I mean,
well, actually, we got to take a few steps back because this song was actually supposed to be for RIP, The Den. Stephen Kinsley, he started this venue up in Prescott, and it was like an all-age venue. It had a lot of like pretty well-known underground names that were going through Prescott, and what he wanted us to do was create a coffee jingle for his venue because he was going to introduce a coffee shop to it. However, due to financial instabilities and as well as broken contracts, things kind of flopped over for the Den. It kind of sucked, but overall, we reached out to Steven like, hey, we just won this. We have your song ready, but is it okay if we use it for instead the radio station? He's like, yeah, by all means. He's like, I mean, that's probably the greatest thing that you could possibly do right now. So like, don't worry about me. Like, worry about you. So yeah, that's honestly was supposed to be written for the Den, and I guess that's why it has such like a hardcore thrash punk sort of feel to it.
Yeah, it's got some chanting in it.
Yeah,
it's kind of like what'd you say? Kind
that,
of like
that two-stepper sort of.
Yeah.
So that was more so of the idea behind it, and instead we just converted, or well, in my case, I converted the lyrics from a coffee jingle into like a morning song.
I know they were really complimenting Isaiah's vocals on that track.
The bear.
Yeah, they're like, whoa, like this bear just came out.
Yeah.
Giant man.
Do the roar. Do the roar, daddy.
So when it comes to writing the riffs, I guess in general, Isaiah, you're the axe man. Of course, you got Aaron along with you. When you guys are sitting there, you guys are writing new music. Who usually sparks an idea? Where does it start from?
Usually it's funny because when I write these riffs, it's usually something I would just play out of nowhere, and then these guys will hear it and they're like, "Hey, what was that you played? Or what's this? That sounds good.
Do it again."
And do it again. And it's like, well, I had this riff too, and I'll like kind of somewhat like Frankenstein the song.
Yeah.
And like, because some of these songs, the riffs I wrote like years ago, and then they're finally being brought to now. Usually it's just from messing around, hearing songs, or being inspired from other music as well. Because I try to listen to different kind of music to get inspired, because it does make you helps you create your own style, Listening to different genres, different, just all kind of sounds. That's how it comes about sometimes. Like I'll just write, sit down, and start playing, just messing around. Even at practice, I'll just mess around as we're trying to find our sound or fix our levels, and I'll play a riff, and these guys are like, "Wait, what was that?" You know? Yeah. That's how it goes. Or sometimes I write a riff at home, just like how I feel through the day or that moment, and then you can somewhat hear it. Like some days, like you'll be like Reassemble, the song we did. The intro, I wrote that to very clean intro and all that because we went through a hard time at that time as a band. You know, different band members left, and you know everything. We thought like this was the end. I thought it was, and I made that intro and that whole part, and you could hear it. You know that little pain, that little
Yeah.
It's based off my emotion, how I feel, or just messing around. That's how I write the riffs.
Wow.
You?
What about you?
How about you, Steele?
Mr. Steele?
Well, basically, it's what he shows me on certain riffs, but with that morning sickness song, we were just like what Scotty said, we were trying to make a coffee jingle, but then out of nowhere, Isaiah comes up to us, and he was like, "Hey, how about this?" And he starts playing the actual riff to it, and I was like, wait, play it one more time, and then we were just like, let's use that, and then we just based it off of that. Normally, yeah, he's the main one that does the riff, the coming up with the riffs, and then I'm starting now to do more. But with this morning sickness song, it was like, let's make it quick. Let's make it, like not too quick, So I was like, I gotta do something. So I'm all trying to find where he's at on the fretboard.
Make it quick, but not DRI quick. Huh?
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? That foundation riff, I'm just gonna James Hetfield and just straight hand the whole thing.
Yeah.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds really good. Yeah. What about you, Laryl? How about when it comes to the laying down the drums, man? You got a really good solid beat on that, man.
Yeah, mainly on the Apache Morning Sickness. And when we did in recording, this was at last minute too, because they wanted to cut the song short. They want to make it like 2 minutes. Then, what was it? I think like a couple days before the recording, we did a practice run on it, and then I just stuck along with the beat, because when I first heard it, Isaiah was playing it. It was during practice, and I was like, "Ooh, I like that riff." I was like, "Play it again." Then I had ideas that to go along with it. It's like groove with it. It's like try to groove along with the riffs as Isaiah makes it. Mm-hmm. But on the Morning Sickness, I never knew that I was gonna. Actually, it took me like 2 tries on.
Yeah.
2 takes.
It got me 2 takes on it, and I already got it flattened down. I got it just straightened out. I was like, "Yep, just keep it like that."
Yeah, and then he came out and it was like, first try.
Yeah, I was like, "It's my first try."
That was actually the first time that he played to a click.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that.
That was my first time actually.
I know it was did you play to a click on that?
Yes, I played to a click on that.
Clicks are definitely very helpful, very beneficial in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, let's go into another Alliance track. Which one do you guys want to play now? It's more like.
I guess since we're talking about Reassemble, let's go ahead and play Reassemble.
All right, man. All right, here's Reassemble. It's Alliance right here, 91.1 KYAY. You're listening to Overdrive. 101.1 KYAY. You're listening to Overdrive. The Boss Man here with you on your Friday night. Hopefully everyone is enjoying the interview we're doing here with Alliance. Of course, Alliance here from out of, shall we say, all of, San Carlos, Peridot, different parts of the res, mostly Peridot?
Mostly Peridot. I think I'm the only one that's G-Wash.
So, so we have Alliance here, and you guys just dropped a new video and a new single, and I was actually one of the first ones to see the final cut.
Yep.
Yeah.
When the day before it came out. On a Monday.
Even before us, we all watched that at the same time, but still.
So let's talk about that. The name of the track is called
it would be Chains.
Chains.
Yep.
What's the story behind that title?
Well, I guess when we first go back to it, Isaiah and I, we were living out in the valley. We used to live at this hotel and work construction. Yeah, and we were working construction. But at that time, we were kind of like songwriting in regards to like what was going to be the next batch of songs. Because if you remember that demo that we gave you all those years ago, that's where we were recording that. But at the same time, we were writing new stuff. And the riff of Chains, we started writing. And it didn't have any meaning back then. And then even after we started introducing it to our set, it still didn't hold much meaning because I guess we're still finding out like what the song was actually about. It wouldn't be until we started laying out like a demo version of it back in 2018. And at the time, I was going through a really hard time in regards to a family member of mine who had just been consumed by addiction. And this person did something really shady to me. And it really hurt me, and it hurt me really bad to the point where I just started writing about it. And I think it was that same day, too, our friend Michael Yazzie of Perseverance, he was the one that was tracking the demo for us. So I was like, all right, well, let's record it because I finally have something to say. And I wrote out the song, and we got the track, and then his computer went kaput. So it was one of those things where it was like, man, like I don't think the song will ever see the light of day. And then we continued to play it though, and I started to get more and more familiar with the lyrics that I wrote. And then going back to Palladio, that was the second song that we played alongside with Misery, and that was the song to which I felt like the judges were more convinced of how passionate I was, I guess, singing.
Yeah. Because
I was singing from the heart, because how I felt about the song itself. So overall, I guess to explain, Chains is a song about seeing from the perspective of, I guess, seeing your loved one have to face this hardship of a life of any sort of addiction, whether it's drugs, alcohol, any type of addiction. And it's really hard sometimes for me to talk about it, but I'm glad that it's here at my home radio station that I am talking about it, because I know that a lot of our youth, a lot of our families, a lot of people that come from this reservation have the same experience. They have households that have a family member or maybe a friend. You love them so much, and you care for them. However, it's hard for you to watch them kind of see their life deteriorate because they're so addicted to something and they don't see nothing else besides it. So that's what I honestly talk about in the song. But besides that, though, I just hope that what I wrote is something that people can relate to. And I know that it's a hard topic to talk about even with family, but I just hope that what I had wrote lyrically is something you can show your family, and I'm your voice in that sense. But yeah, that's what Chains is about.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that sounds pretty deep,
Yeah.
And I know when
Sorry to make it so heavy.
I know when you had first sent me the final mix for Misery, and you said, "Here, check this out. It's our new single." And I honestly was like, "Okay, well, let's see how this sounds." And I heard it, and I was like, "What?" Is this the same band? You know? And it wasn't so much the music that really got my attention. It was when I heard your lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
I heard them lyrics, and I was like, man, this guy's saying something. He's speaking from the heart. These guys are gonna go somewhere, you know. And I hate to say I was right, but I was right. You know, you guys submitted that song to Palladio. It got you guys, basically won. You know, and so, I guess back to what I was gonna say is that the video. There's a video that came out with this track, Chains. You see poppies in there. So it looks like that's the first thing I talk about, poppies. But I'm
True
thinking
res, huh?
this was shot recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like the aerial view. I like the drones that were flying around. Now, when I see this video, I see a lot went into the production of the video itself.
Yep.
There was a lot of set changes. There's a lot of times of the different day. I mean, there's different angles. There's just, I mean, it's a whole lot. I mean, like it's not just like you guys standing in a room and jamming, you know, or standing outside or just playing a live show. No, like you guys are all over the place.
Yeah.
I see. And I'm gonna try to think here. I think I see somewhere up in Point of Pines.
Yep.
Yeah.
I see somewhere around the lake area.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where's that house at that you guys are jamming in?
It's the old.
Isaiah's house. Oh, that's our house.
That's our practice spot.
Our practice spot.
No, no, it's the old abandoned C store, or not C store, the lake store.
Yeah, that's
Thinking
kinda
about.
there's this cool effect in there towards the end of the song where the graffiti on the background kind of lights up. I always thought that was kind of cool what they did with that. It almost looks like you guys set it up inside the room, but I'm thinking, you know, that's got to be somewhat of like a CGI kind of thing, right?
Yeah, a lot of that is thanks to our videographer, Zach Duke of Dynasty Incorporation. He was the one that actually reached out to us a while back, and it's just like, hey, I really like you guys' sound. He's like, I love what you're about. Let's make something. And at first it was kind of like, well, we don't really got the funding for it. We don't got the songs for it, but we'll think about it. And then as we went into the studio, we started talking about, okay, well, who's going to film? Because we already had like music video in mind. We're already thinking of like the future. And Zach was one of the first people that I reached out to, and he was just like, yeah. He's like, let's work.
Is he local?
He's technically from Phoenix, but yeah, we brought him out to the res, and it's the first time on the res, and he loved it. Yeah, because he's a big guy that loves like
Landscapes.
yeah, landscapes, cinematography.
I can tell.
Yeah.
And he was just so amazed by how like beautiful the res was. And that was the thing too that I liked about him was he didn't, even though the song's so like, I guess, hurtful and in pain, it captivates a lot of like the uniqueness of where we're from. And like I showed some of my family beforehand in regards to the video, but to what, or well, more so the trailer, but from what they said was just like, I love how like you guys were able to capture like home.
Yeah.
Like, especially like up in the mountains that nobody really sees.
Yeah.
I was going to say that.
And this guy, most of these guys have never been up the mountains. That was the first time that they ever went up to the mountains.
Are you kidding me? You guys ain't never been up there?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
This guy.
yeah.
Don't put me up. Don't put me up.
No, but see that's the thing too is like I'm glad that we're actually able to like show people that and like, hey, go up the mountains. Go make a music video.
I was gonna say that when I see that, I'm like, whoa, that's home. That's what it looks. I mean, like it's got the nice aerial view of up on the mesa here, face
flagpole.
the flagpole face towards downtown San Carlos.
Yep.
that was a good idea. I thought that was really cool to open up the video with that. Now, when you guys, how many locations did you guys have to set up at? Only 2?
2 for you guys, but it was like 4. Yeah, it was like 4 for 5 because I had to go. Okay, so this was the whole deal. Was we filmed, and then kind of realized like, oh, I think Homeboy needs a permit, so we got him a permit, and then after that he was like, wait, we kind of need to do some more stuff, so we're like, okay, well, we got you your permit, let's make it happen. So he came back the following weekend. Or, well, this was all shot over 2 weekends. So the first weekend is more so the band stuff. The weekend after that is just more so like the single landscape footage and all that. So it all came together though. And that's what he loved about it too. He was like, I'm glad I came out for another weekend because this is just like icing on the cake. And that's exactly what happened. It's like that's why you see so much like, I guess, like the landscape, the beauty of the reservation and the poppies.
At the end of the video, you almost fall down too.
Yeah. So what these guys point out, I guess. I didn't even know that until like these guys pointed it out earlier. Hey,
you should tell them to change it.
Did you almost fall down right there?
It's the Riz.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna point it out.
You're gonna go see that pot. Hey, that's where Scotty goes. When they go hunting.
So, let's see here. So with the video, you guys did the aerial, different locations, and what was when you guys first approached this? Was there like a grand concept before doing this, or was it just kind of all like, let's just kind of play it by ear and see what happens?
I guess what we first started talking about was we wanted somebody to act, but it's the thing about the res.
There's no actors.
Not that there's no actors. Everyone's just shy.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is we. Yeah, even me too. Shit. But I really wanted to. What I wanted the video to be is showing a girl, basically having the story be about a girl who's trying to figure out life, but at the same time seeing what harm, I guess you could say, a household could do to an upbringing of a girl. And that's what was supposed to happen. However, as you see in the video, that didn't necessarily happen. To a little too big of a budget, and we had little of a budget. But Zach was able to work with us and try to make it as, I guess you could say, emotionally...
Authentic.
Yeah, exactly. Like emotionally authentic to what it was that we were feeling and what we were talking about. Yeah. And I guess that's why something that he loved that same day was that it was cloudy. So he was like, man, this is perfect. Like, exactly what you guys are going for. Like, it's a cloudy day, but you still see some light. Yeah. And then, like during the breakdown, how we kind of split from like day to night, it gave you that sort of essence of like, oh, it's getting serious now.
It's getting dark.
Yeah. Better go home.
Playing a breakdown there. It's getting dark.
The lights came on. Better go home.
I was gonna see a skinwalker in there, man. Well, I mean, you guys did an amazing job on that video. I mean, I'm pretty sure it burnt you guys out doing all of that just in one day or 2 weekends, working around your work schedule, working around your family life schedule, or I mean, there's just a whole lot juggling around, you know, and trying to make things work. So so let's go ahead, let's get into that track right now. It's actually going to be the first time we aired this here on KYAY. So let's go ahead and get into the new track that just came out on Tuesday. It's called Chains, right here with Alliance, right here 91.1 KYAY. You're listening to Overdrive.
truth that's inside me, breaking me down again. Please just come back home. You see me weaken, broken but drowned at the side. Breaking me down again. Please just come back home. You see me weaken, broken but drowned at the side. Breaking me down again. Please just come back home. You see me weaken.
.1 KYAY right there, a KYAY exclusive. I want to say world exclusive, but that's not the case because it's been out for like almost a week now. Chains, the name of that track. We did talk about the video of that. If you guys have not seen the video, I believe it's up on YouTube right now, right?
Yeah, it should be on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, anywhere you could possibly stream a video.
Yeah.
It will be there.
You guys released a EP.
Yep.
That's your EP. Now, I always wanted to know, there's a symbol on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's, is it something made up, or is it, what's the significance behind that, and why did you guys choose that? It almost looks like, Chinese writing, I guess.
Well, actually, it's Japanese. It's
Japanese. I want to say
it's
Japanese.
It's a Japanese A. And the reason why we went with the Japanese A is because, well, one, the majority of the band, we all like Japanese culture, anime, and I guess that's why we incorporate a lot of our merchandise with anime. But it was actually Isaiah's idea. Isaiah was the one that created the symbol. He made like a real rough draft of it, and he was like, "How does this look?" And we're like, "Yeah, let's capitalize on that. Let's keep going with it." So I just kind of edited it, just made it cleaned up a little bit more, and then we just continued to give this process, I guess, the right feeding, the right waters, so it can grow into something. Mm-hmm. So in a way, like what this symbol stands for, though, is one, us, but then two, this is like the era of, I guess, the symbol. Eventually things will change.
Yeah. I almost say it almost looks like a cattle brand.
Not bad, huh?
You could do the star and that logo, brand somebody with that or something.
Anchor 7.
Brand someone's cattle with it.
Oh, look, that's a light.
That must be Scotty's cow there.
It's Scotty's to do.
That's what I invested in merch for.
Isaiah's bull.
Alliance buckskin right there.
Another reason why the symbol was made is just to have a symbol. We were going to do just the letter A, the regular English A, but already another big band, Attila, they already do that, letter A. So I was like, we need a symbol that something can look at and be like, that's Alliance. That's Alliance,
All right, so let's talk about the Alliance World Tour. You guys got a whole bunch of gigs lined up. What has been the motivation behind wanting to play more?
For me, it's our people. I mean, I think, to be honest, and to talk from the heart, you guys were the ones that inspired this, like, big time. Because to see you guys opening up for like Vital Remains, Deicide, like, that was mind blowing to me as just a kid that
thanks
was at a little UB's bar back then.
Yeah,
but straight up though, that meant a lot, and I feel like to see that up front, I could only imagine how some kids now feel about what it is that we do. To see like, wow, they're actually out of state. Wow, they're actually playing all these shows this summer. Wow, they released a CD. Wow, they released a music video. Like, I can do that.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest drive for me, especially that I'm a father and I have my own daughter. Like, I want her to set her mind to whatever it is that she wants to do in life, and I'll be right there by her side, just support her to whatever it is that she wants to do. It doesn't have to be music, but that's my drive, is like our people, our youth, to have them do what it is that they love. Isaiah?
Just, connect with people through our music and sounds. To connect to people with our music, and because to show that you're not the only one that's feeling this anger, the sorrow, the pain, and all that. That's my drive. And and also it makes me forget personally, because I do have like a illness that I have, that it makes me forget. I'll be playing these shows and I'm like, everything's just gone. I'm playing and I forget that I'm sick.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good feeling. Like, I like it. It keeps me going. And I always get asked, like, how do you keep playing these shows while you're doing all this treatment? And I'm like, just the passion, and then just trying to connect with people, and hopefully I can become somebody's, a young person's like what do you call it? Not like someone like an idol, or like someone like, if he can do it, I can do it.
Inspiration.
Yeah. Inspired him. Like, he can do it, I can do it. That's the main reason too. And yeah, that's my part.
Yeah. All right. What about you?
Ooh, that's stuck. Well, it's funny. I actually had this conversation with a friend this morning. We were talking about just the same topic, but for me, honestly, this is like a dream come true. I've always wanted to be in a band. I was that kid that would just buy like random CDs from like Zia, FYE, come back home to my little CD player or my stereo and just blast it, and then dance in front of the mirror and lip sing whatever, get my guitar and play like I'm playing with Dragon Force or Minor Threat or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, that's something I've always wanted to do. And all in all, I'm thankful for these guys for like giving me that opportunity.
Yeah, it's great. What about you, Lero?
Ooh, coming back again. Let's get done. But for me, to be a part of this band it's surprising. It surprised me, but it's really been a really good journey for me, because throughout the time before I joined this band, I was playing like local shows just here and there. Then when Scotty messaged me like, you down to be a part of Alliance, and that gave me like 3 months to just think about it, because I was like, I don't know what to do, because it took me
left us some red for a long time. We even seen him at the veterans show, and he was there for the metal show, and I was like, hey, what's up? You gonna join the band? Still thinking about it.
This guy had months. This guy left me on red for years.
But other than that, got back with Scotty. I was like, I'm down to jam, or I'm down to be a part of the band. Then it was on December of 2019. That's when The Devil Within, the single, was out. Then that month, I actually practiced with them. They were surprised because I actually got half of it down just by having their first jam with them. And especially too, being on the road, going to new places. I thought I would never do that. And last year when we played at Ignacio, that was really inspiring for me, because we mainly just got everyone up. They got excited for us. They got excited for Salvation's Lost and Ocean Harvest. From there, even now, everyone, when we do shows and when we're putting their gear away, I mainly get asked like, what do I run with? Like what cymbals or what drum I mainly run with. I tell them that, and they're like, "Damn, really? That's That's
That's
really
you?
badass. Yeah, they're like, you run that.
I was
and-
one of them. I was at one of the shows at the, I think it was the Edge Bar.
Yeah.
I was helping you guys pack out. I was like, hey, Laro, so what kind of kit you guys play? And he showed me what he plays. Oh, hey, really? That's cool, man.
Even
That's it?
even to that drum set, that was mainly from. That was a donation from us.
No.
So, it seems like you guys been through a lot of trial and error, and I think one of them was Laro lost his drum set in a fire. Is that correct?
He lost my kit. I bought that kit and I gave it to Laryl and it burned down. Man, just thinking about it.
Moment of silence.
Yeah,
I know how that feels because I actually had one of my favorite kits. I bought. I spent so much money investing in that, and it burnt up in the house fire.
yep. That's the same way I felt because I was like, man, I packed you everywhere. I bought your cymbals and made you look clean, and now you're just burnt to a crisp. But yeah, the drum kit burned down. And during that time, we didn't really know what was going to happen. And it wasn't just in regards to the drum kit, but we just had a lot going on at that time. And thankfully, a good friend of ours, Bill Bradley, and as well as Andrew Gaister, they donated, or they made us a makeshift kit. And that's what they gave us for free. But I mean, no doubt, we worked with Bill on like some demo tracks, and actually, speaking of which, Bill's actually getting another band together, so I wanted to bring him out to the Riz. But they're really good guys, and I feel like that was our spark as well of like, hey, like somebody actually believes in us that much, like that they want us to keep going.
Donate their drum set.
Yeah, and it wasn't their main kit. It was Andrew's like secondary kit, but he was like, it just sits around, so here you guys go. And after that, as soon as we got that, we just started playing just nonstop, honestly. We're like, we're gonna put this to full use, and once the pandemic's over, we're back on the road, and that's exactly what happened. Yep.
Wow.
So
Very inspiring.
yeah, I mean, thanks to them, they're the ones that really got us going, and
It was 2020, huh?
yeah, it's during
That's
the
when I was in the wheelchair, remember? I
Yep.
couldn't walk, I couldn't do nothing.
yeah. So I mean, we really went through a lot. And that's something, I guess, what we also, or I guess that's our biggest inspiration too, is like, man, like if you had known what it was that we went through, like from literally burying one of our band members to, from band member change to band member change to being told this, being told that, all of the fails that we had to go through just to be at where we're at. I mean, a lot of people think it's just gonna happen overnight. A lot, especially what it is that what you all are now seeing, it didn't happen just overnight. It was years and years of failure.
Yeah.
We've been a band since 2013.
Yeah, so
So 10
we're actually a decade now, and we're finally seeing
Wow.
something out of that 10 years. But it's as it goes, is you have to pay your dues.
Yeah.
You have to pay your dues
That's
if you
right.
want to get anywhere, whether school, job, anything. You have to pay your dues.
Go to
Yeah.
Don't be a musician. Go to school.
Don't do what we do.
You're gonna go through a lot.
You're gonna go through a lot. Don't do what we do. Let's talk about the future. What do you guys have in mind?
So first we're gonna go. Well, right now we're taking a break. Like this whole month is just like, let's kick back, let's spend time with family, let's remember why we're doing this. And then starting the first day of June, we're gonna be back in Tempe at Yucca Tap Room for a free show if anybody's trying to make it out. That very following week, on June 9th, is going to be probably the biggest stage that we would have taken, but we're going to be playing at the Levitt Pavilion in Denver, Colorado. That's a free show as well. But the thing that's so important or so big about that event is that this Levitt Pavilion, it's like the Mesa Amphitheater, but times 2. It can hold up to close to 8,000 people. And right now, we're already looking at close to 1,000 people that have already reserved their tickets.
Yeah.
And then day of, they're planning that probably twice, if not 3 times more of that.
You have any fans from here going that might follow you guys up there?
I believe I might have some relatives that are gonna go over there. Yeah,
I am going up there.
I'm going.
But no, actually, one of our biggest supporters, Thurlan Benali,
Oh yeah,
she's actually coming with us.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you know,
that's our mom.
yep,
Yeah.
and that's mom. Mom, if you're listening, this is for you. But yeah, she's seen us from the very start, like from just practice band, garage band,
My
what.
first band.
Yeah, and she's been the mom to all of us,
Yeah.
and she wants to be there with us. So we're like, yeah, come along with us. So she's gonna be there with us, as well as our families, our immediate families. And besides that, we're hearing like some people are gonna like take trains that way. Yeah, and like flying out that way.
That's
So
cool, you know?
it's
You guys
crazy.
flying? Or you guys
No,
driving?
we're driving.
Hitchhiking.
We're taking our cattle.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, before we close out here, what I really admire is that you guys have gone, like you said, you paid your dues. You guys are definitely some legit musicians. I'll tell you that, man. You guys, the creative juices are flowing. I like the long, epic songs. I mean, it's just I never expected this. I never expected this from you guys. And now that you guys are stepping outside of your little comfort zone and you guys are trying to experiment with as much as you can, it definitely does show. And it's, you guys are benefiting from it. It's cool to see.
Speaking of stepping out of our comfort zone, we actually played at was ASU, the college.
Oh yeah.
That one was like, whoa, like we were playing in front of the library, and it was crazy. And then I was like, man, we're gonna be playing to these students. That's cool. I mean, I know most of them probably don't listen to metal, but you could tell like a good amount do. And I was like, which is good because college. I don't know anything. I never went to college, but I can see the stress and like everything. So they're just releasing it in the pit.
Yeah.
That was cool seeing them.
Wow.
See the thing about that too was it was so last minute of like an ask, because when we went into the studio to go work on the EP with Jacob Miles, we had our good friend Vicky Eagle, and she's the one that's bringing us up to Denver right now. She's studying her PhD at UCLA and doing like a whole mapping of res metal like throughout all of the Southwest region.
Yeah.
But anyways, she was in the studio with us, and she was like, hey, I got the show happening at ASU. You guys want to be a part of it? And we're just like, yeah, sure. And she was like, oh, it's probably just going to be like a bunch of like doctorates and people who are like of high echelons.
Mm-hmm.
But if anything, just bring your merch because everyone's going to have big pockets. So we're like, okay, that's all we know. Just a lot of graduates, big pockets,
Yeah.
merch. Okay, let's play. And then come to find out, we're just like, oh, we're playing like dead center campus. Oh wow, this is like the main like walkway of all the students. Oh wow, there's close to like 200 people here that are just kicking it. And that same day too, like we sold out the majority of our merch.
Yeah.
And it was one of those moments where it was like, it is stepping out of our comfort zone to like play something so last minute, but at the end of the day it paid off. And it was just one of those things like, wow, like glad we did that. Mm-hmm. Even going back to Palladio, like the last minute thing was just like, well, it was a good thing we did that too.
If you guys do go to Colorado, Denver, go check out the museum because there's us, Celestial, other Native American metal bands are in the museum, right?
Yeah, at the Denver Art Museum right now.
Yeah, I think I saw that. You guys posted that. Yeah,
they have their own. I guess you could say studio.
I think I saw Guardians on there too.
Yeah, and they're like highlighting all of Native American res metal, and that's a part of Vicky's study right now. And she's just basically displaying it at Denver Art Museum. And from what she's been saying is like it's been a hit. So that's why she's been like.
So she created that.
Yeah, she created that whole studio herself of like all of her studying right now of like, well, this is how this band's connected to this band and this is where they're from. This is their reservation. This is their style.
It almost reminds you of like the metal evolution.
Yeah,
That guy
exactly.
Sam Dunn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sam Dunn did one like that. You know, the evolution of metal, and now it's kind of like, I think it's cool that someone's doing that, but with res metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I hate to like pigeonhole us in that category, but it is. It is what it is. It's res metal. You know, and the one thing that I thought was really cool when you guys won Palladio was that Holmberg was like, man, what are they doing on the res, man? Because, you know, the production's great and all this and that. There must be a whole slew of engineers coming out of the res.
What do you say? He was like, it's all that money from the casinos that we
Yeah,
pay for.
yeah, it is. It's all that money from the casinos, man.
Trailers.
Wrong Riz.
I know. That was the same thing I was thinking. I was like, man, like, I wish.
I wish we got money.
Yeah,
We
so,
always donate to them.
so we're going to go ahead and close out for tonight's show. Thank you guys for coming in.
Yeah.
And you guys want to give us, you guys want to have do a shout out to anybody out there, or, you know, really quick before we end the night?
I guess for me, just shout out to everybody that's been streaming our music, that's been buying our merch. Straight up, like every single thing that we sell, every single stream, it really does count. Even shares, likes, it
helps.
It not only helps with making us go further, but at the end of the day, it gives us motivation. Like, wow, like people are listening and people really want more. And that's why we keep giving more. Everything that we make too off of this band, it just goes right back into the band, whether it's equipment, merchandise, marketing, gas, food. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So just thank you to everybody, and I really appreciate everybody that's listening right now too.
Yeah, thank you to everybody that's been, you know, listening to us and supporting us. Also want to, you know, give a shout out to my girlfriend, because she's been through with me through all this stuff, and, you know, she's been, you know,
She's a sixth member.
yeah, she's basically the sixth member of the band. You know, shout out to her. Also my family, you know, like they support me. Like I said in the beginning, they were kind of like, no, that's the devil's music. But then now they're like, you know, keep going. I can see you're happy, and, you know, like, shout out to my family and friends and everybody that supports the band. You know, even to you guys, you know, I can't. This is not my band. This is our band, and, you know, I ain't nothing without you guys.
Me too. Well, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank all the fans, because even though I just barely joined last year, you guys really welcomed me into the band. Like, I got a very warm welcome. I wasn't expecting that. I was like expecting oh, okay, cool, you know, that's fine. And then I want to thank my family as well for, you know, just encouraging me. I mean, at first they're like, yeah, I mean, it's okay, you know, you do you. Most of all, my little brother, he's the main one that's always pushing me. Even though he's in school still, he's like, just comes up to me and he's like, he points to my guitar, and I'm like, all right, you want to hear something? And he just sits with me.
Cool.
You, Larry.
Coming back to you again. But mainly I want to thank everyone who supported this band from the start to actually still be there for us, that we're doing this for, not just for us, we're doing this for every fans that always loves us, that buys our merch, streams all of our songs on platform. And I want to thank my family too for supporting me ever since I joined this band back in 2019. I love what I love doing, is just playing drums, inspiring young generations, especially giving them drum lessons too. Because mainly I just get hit up a lot. Like, they ask me to do drum lessons and I get paid for it. And yeah, I just love inspiring younger generations that wants to make music, even on the res too. They'll be the future metal after us.
All right. Well, that definitely is True, right there. So, all right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for coming in. Best wishes to the future of Alliance. All right. So, if you guys want to check out Alliance, they do have some shows coming up here.
We have merch.
You can purchase merch.
Yeah.
Check them out. They're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. You got your EP that's out now.
Yeah.
Yep. Chapter 1, Let Go.
So yeah, we could be here all night and talking more and more about music, and we could talk about video games and comic books and stuff like that, which I kind of wanted to do, but we're not. It was just
Who knows?
Eventually.
So
We might make a podcast.
Who knows?
we might make a podcast and the comic book. So. Anyway, Laryl, Aaron, Isaiah, Scotty. I almost said
I'm little Isaiah, I guess.
Oh, big old shout out to your bass player too.
Oh yeah, Ashley.
Ashley's in here. So, all right, guys. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and close off tonight with. Let's take it all the way back to this track that I not first heard you guys, but the first track that you guys recorded, talking about the song called "The Devil Inside."
The Devil Within.
Devil within.
Yeah.
Within, inside. So,
that cheating.
Cheating within. So here you go. Right here, Alliance, right here, 91.1 KYAY. You're listening to Overdrive.
What's a yeet?
Yeet!